All of a sudden. All right, hello and welcome to the At YouTube podcast, episode number 70. We are here to talk about U2, as you may have guessed. And we are going to be talking about the new album news and tour dates. We finally have, not finally, it's actually only been a month since we've had new stuff to talk about, really. I'm going to kill that because I can't talk over top of it right now. I'm joined by Mr. Matt McGee. Hello, Matt. I was joined by Matt McGee. Are you just messing with me?
I hope he's messing with you. No. Oh, God, do we lose his voice?
Okay.
When we gain Sherry.
I'm joined by Tassoula. Hi, Tassoula. Hi. I'm joined by Sherry.
Achtung, babies.
All right. Well, 3 out of 4, I guess, ain't bad. I'm just going to assume Matt's messing with us because...
I hope to God he's messing with us.
We're going to soldier on anyways, so good luck, Matt. We're leaving you behind. So as we record this on Thursday, it's still Thursday, right? We started trying to record this half an hour ago. Thursday, November 2nd, U2 has released a new single, Get Out of Your Own Way. They've announced tour dates. They've announced a beautiful new way to get tickets for the said tour. And we're going to be talking about all those things along with some of your questions. And like I see in the chat room, where are the New Zealand and Aussie dates? The world is, well... that side of the world is anxiously awaiting, obviously. So, where do we want to begin? We're trying to do this as a B-side, but Matt, maybe is your microphone not in front of your face? Did you mute yourself?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
You muted yourself.
You can't.
You evil man.
What?
Gracious.
We were asking.
You were just completely quiet there for the whole intro.
I refreshed. I could hear and see you guys the whole time, but you were saying you couldn't hear or see me, so I refreshed the browser.
Okay. Let's get on with the things. So, Songs of Experience.
I'm not playing games or anything.
Coming out December 1st. Experience and Innocence Tour. Where do we want to begin, folks? What's your... I'm assuming everybody's just happy with how tickets are going to be procured. That's all good. We can skip over that part.
Does anyone understand how tickets are going to be procured? Does anyone have a clue how you are going to get tickets? That's my question. Because I don't have any idea how I'm going to get tickets.
It's quantum physics at this point.
You didn't get
we need Sherry's husband
implant?
to run his...
Right?
We all got an implant overnight. The
I did not get
implant
an
fairy
implant.
didn't see you?
I just wish I was in the meeting when Larry had to explain this to everybody, how this is all going to work. Or it got explained to Larry, and then he was...
I wouldn't want to be the person explaining it to Larry. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
If he even knows. If they're even aware that this is the cluster already and that tickets haven't even gone on sale.
Yeah. So, Sherry, you're generally the resident expert on ticket purchasing and have been answering, I'm sure, many questions on Twitter and beyond. What, as a okay, let's start with a U2.com fan club member. So that's the highest level of fandom right now, I guess. What does that person... Yeah, what does that person do to get a ticket?
Well, what that person needs to do is, if they haven't already logged in... What, Matt?
We've got 16 flowcharts.
I can't wait to hear this. It could take an hour. It could be the whole podcast.
No. It's very simple, actually. It's quite simple. Log into your U2.com account, go under your member profile, and just follow the instructions it tells you to do. You're going to need to type in your cell phone number, because what they are going to do is they are going to text you your pre-sale code. It's not going to be emailed to you. It's not going to be available in your membership area like it used to be. It will be texted to you the morning of the U2.com the U2.com pre-sale. If you were a subscriber before a particular date, and I don't have that date in front of me, but it's like if you've been a subscriber for over a year, you will be in the Experience book.
2016.
Thanks, Matt. You will be in the Experience group, which means that you get the first tier of the pre-sale. If you subscribed after that as your first subscription, then you are in the Innocence group and you get your pre-sale the day after. And all this information is available both on our website and on u2.com. Once you have given them your cell phone number, you then have to link your account with Ticketmaster through u2.com. They've made it really simple with the button being right there. You have to basically...
Oh, we lost Sherry. Hang on.
We lost your audio, Sherry.
We lost your audio. So
she's
that's
freaking
part
out.
of
the.
Notice how the audio went down right after she used the word simple?
Yeah.
That's a real Zoo TV moment.
Yeah. And Chris broke a sweat. He took his shirt off. So it's really getting.
I didn't take my shirt off. Took the jacket off. So just like many folks, we're going to leave you in confusion now because Sherry dropped out halfway through.
Sherry needs to connect her live stream to Ticketmaster in order to keep talking.
She's about to smash a microphone, rock and roll style.
Cracking me up.
Okay, so did anybody? Did we catch a lot? Can anybody pick up where Sherry left off while she shouts at her microphone?
So she was at the part where you connect your Ticketmaster account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposedly walks you all through it, and you need to get to a point where it says setup complete with a green box and all that sort of stuff. But
there's one glitch we should make people aware of, that once they complete
not just one.
Well, for this portion of the process, the only one I know of and experienced was that I went through the appropriate steps. I linked my account. I accepted the terms and conditions, and then I renewed earlier than I should have had to renew. And it still said incomplete. So I logged out. Sorry, landline calling.
There goes that better.
Logged back in.
Yeah, you're back.
Yes. And then it showed that the setup was complete. This is such a cluster right now. But anyway.
Hello, you've reached the Ticketmaster ordering line. Which concert would you like U2 tickets for?
That's calling to yell at us. It'll go away in a second.
That's Live Nation calling.
Yeah. Please cease and desist.
Revoking my access. Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't get paid for what you do.
Right.
All right. So, where did I leave off? So you link to your Ticketmaster account.
We're all done that part.
No. Okay. So once you've linked to your Ticketmaster account, then you have to renew your subscription.
Already said that.
Okay, great. So once you've renewed your subscription, you should get a nice little green box that said verified fan. Did you get to that point?
Or you don't. You have to log out and log back in to see it, which is what happened to me.
So that's what's going to happen with u2.com. Tassoula, you've done the Citibank with the Citi card, right?
That too. Yep, that too. Is my audio stupid now? I feel like...
No, we can hear you.
Somebody's got a bit of echo, but it's okay. We'll soldier on. Might be Sherry.
Okay, but yes, I did register for the Citi pre-sale, and that was different in the respect that it made me choose a city. It forced me to choose one show.
And then for the general on sale, you have to be verified. And for that, you also have to select one show. But you have to do that for every show you want to try for tickets for. So I was able to verify for multiple cities for the general on sale for November 20th.
So just block out like 6 hours and you should have this process down. Such nonsense.
Yeah. There's
just to get an idea of that. Just look at the chat we're getting. Go look at our Facebook post yesterday and all the questions there. Look at our Twitter account and the mentions and all the. I mean, it's gosh.
Vid said, "Is there a Google Translate for you to speak?" And I'm with her on that. I think there needs to be.
But what bothers me is this, and this is the first time. It says Citi is the official credit card for the U2 Experience and Innocence Tour. And as such, when have they ever partnered in this way as an official credit card of anything? I mean, we've had BlackBerry, we've had VH1, we've had MTV, powered by Salesforce.
Salesforce, yeah.
Who else is going to be slapping their logo onto Experience and Innocence at this point?
Wasn't American Express the credit card for the last time?
I
Last go
feel
around?
like
That's
it
not,
was because
that's not a U2
yeah.
thing. That's a Ticketmaster thing.
Yeah, but it's not the official. This is now an official credit card of the tour.
I don't know, but City does this all the time. I get these alerts all the time through my.
I don't think it has anything to do with the tour. It has to do with them being partners with Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's
But
no
it
irony
is a
that the blue.
separate presale.
So it's no irony that the blue that they're using in all of their merchandising and marketing now is the same blue that both City and Salesforce appear to be using.
Yeah.
I think that's quick.
John Free in the chat was asking, why do we need to resubscribe when my youtube.com membership doesn't run out until May? And the way I understand it is it adds on to what your existing membership is. It's not like it starts now from November 2nd or whatever.
It does.
Yeah.
They do credit you.
So you're not
mine fast forwarded to the February date that I should have, February 2019 instead of 2018. So they do credit you, and you do get an extra or another gift, the gift for that year.
Yeah. And the way I understand it is just because that's the verification that you're a true fan, right? Is because you've got your membership.
Yes. Right. And there was
Now,
two levels, which I don't remember ever seeing before. There was 2 price levels I could choose from
membership?
when I renewed.
Oh, yeah.
No. That's been normal for the past 3 years. So that
I don't ever remember that.
If you're just now subscribing and you want last year's gift and this year's gift and next year's gift,
Oh, yeah.
then that's what they're doing. It's to throw in all the extra and to get an extra $35 out of people who may be confused or just want another copy of whatever the gift is. But just to complicate matters, if you did not use any code whatsoever for the Joshua Tree Tour and your account is still in good standing, then you don't need to resubscribe because you never used your code from the last tour. And this is what's confusing other people because they haven't done this before, where you will still receive a code without having to renew because you never used the code on the last tour.
And at TS Later, something like that, is asking, are there ticket limits once you go through the process? And I understand it's 2?
Yes. 2 per pre-sale. So 2 for the fan club, 2 for City. And they're on different days, we should say. The pre-sales are on different days.
Right. So the fan club goes
They go first.
Then City goes next.
Then the general on sale.
Yeah, and if you qualify for the U2.com pre-sale and qualify for City, that's okay.
So I know in our own Slack, someone was asking, I think, or somewhere I saw it anyways, there's a bunch of questions obviously everywhere, but like if you got a family of 5 or a group of 5 that you're hoping to get tickets for, you as the sole U2 per fan provider for a family of 5 or a group of 5, you're out of luck because you got your 2 tickets that's on your account, and I may have just lost everybody. 2 tickets on your own account, and then everybody's disappeared.
Okay, I'm back now. I refreshed.
Yeah, 2 tickets on your own account, and then maybe you get another 2 from like the City method or whatever, but then the 5th person, let's say in your mythical group, has to get their own ticket or wait for general on sale. So
yeah.
I know, Tassoula, you had said in the chat room at one point about like for people with credit cards and you're buying tickets, in the States anyways, I don't know where else in the world it can do this, but Visa has gift cards that you can use to buy stuff with.
It works in Canada too. It got you and me into the Vancouver show. That's what I did.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if they have they might have the option to buy them here, I guess, but definitely in the States, like buying a Visa gift card. I just haven't done it. It might be here as well. And
you can buy
in the world.
In our country, you can just buy them at the grocery store. So I don't know if you guys have the same type of setup. I've never paid attention when I've been in a grocery store in Vancouver, but there's just like a gift card mall, they call it. And it's just literally a wall of gift cards to various places, fast food and movies and electronics and Best Buy and everything. And it's included with those, and you can just specify your amount. So when I see how much the ticket is going to cost me or how many tickets I need to get, whatever, I estimate, guesstimate, overestimate how much that's going to cost with all the fees and all the nonsense. And then I get a card for that amount and use that to purchase my tickets with.
Right.
And it works really well, because then if something really happens to your personal credit card, which has happened to me in the past, and it's compromised, then you have a backup.
Right. At
And you
YouTube
Sharpie
War
which show it is.
Forder, YouTube War 40, you said, will this new verified process really deter any scalping or make even a dent in it? My vote is no, because they'll find a way. If you're desperate for money, hungry to make a buck off of this kind of thing, you'll find a way around it. It's just, it's a whack-a-mole, I think, at this point. Fabiano is in the chat room said if you want to use a second U2.com account, you need a different Ticketmaster account because those two are now going to be tied together. So it is like I understand their methodology behind trying to prevent scalpers and people buying too many tickets, but it's a whole lot of like small, just like anything else, where people who steal stuff, it makes it suck for the masses of people who don't, and it's the minority of people who actually are doing this, affecting all the rest of us in how we are able to purchase tickets and stuff like that. So
one little addendum to what I said, if you do buy a gift card, you have to make sure that you register it, because that's what saved us when my number did get compromised. Make sure you register it, then you're protected in case somebody gets it.
Right.
Anyway.
At Hiding in the Berg had asked about what is Facebook Connect reference to in the FAQ pages somewhere on YouTube.com. There's something about that, and that is basically just logging in with Facebook, I think, is all that's.
I did not choose to participate in that. I do not want Facebook in my financial business.
So they, unlike some other like Taylor Swift fan club stuff, where you get more Swift points, I don't know what they're called, Swift bucks maybe or whatever. You get higher. You're more of a fan the more you spend. Basically, is what it amounts to feeling like. U2 hasn't gone that route with this, right, in their fan score configuration or whatever that they're doing. So
no, they removed that from the terms and conditions, thankfully.
Yeah, so there isn't that condition there, so you don't have to feel like you have to buy more T-shirts. I mean, I'm sure most of you will buy lots of T-shirts and all that stuff, but you don't have to get better access or whatever, all that kind of stuff. So at Dub Carroll in the chat says I've given up far too complicated. I'll take my chances in general sale if I go at all. So.
But consider this, in the general sale, you still have to become a verified fan to even buy tickets there. So
yeah,
you have to do something. You can't just log in the day of the sale and expect that you'll have access, because you won't, even if you're not a fan club member.
It kind of feels like how Matt, in your former world, like every internet entrepreneur is like giving away a PDF in exchange for your email address or whatever. So like this is just a mailing list grab, right? For at the bare minimum.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they'll market to us via text message now, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of that stuff. They even if you go to the U2.com help page, it even talks about that. Does this mean you're going to send me marketing messages? And they say, well, yeah, but it won't be that much. So okay, whatever.
Yeah.
U2 only puts out a new album every 4 or 5 years usually, right? So should be fine. At Sahara Desert asked, so will they do arenas in Australia and New Zealand? We have arenas that are as big or bigger than U.S. venues. My other question is, do I have to resubscribe and pay for a subscription even though I've already subscribed? I think we sort of covered that. That you do have to resubscribe, right? But it'll give you additional time at the end of your subscription. So it's not wasted money in that sense, I guess. Will they do arenas though? I mean, we don't know, I guess, but I would hope that this time they're going to get over to that side of the world, but we don't have any news. Fabiano asked about when tickets for European folks are going to be on sale, and that hasn't been announced other than right.
Have that information.
2018, obviously, I guess at this point. It kind of feels like the U.S. tour and one Canadian date. I'll mention U.S. tour is it's the North American tour with one Canadian date in there. Not that I'm bitter. It's like a test for all this, right? They're not going to do anything yet for Europe or anywhere else in the world until they sort of run through this process.
I mean, that's kind of like that. There was this Billboard magazine article that we sent out on Twitter today, and it basically like U2's not the first artist to do this. It's been done on a limited basis by other artists, but the article made the point that U2 is the first to do it for their entire tour. And so we get to be the guinea pigs, which is kind of, first world problem, but frustrating at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that is a big part of the problem, is that it's still it's still early days and it's only been done on a limited basis before, and now it's being done for an entire tour. And so that just is creating and adding to a lot of the confusion. And for me personally, it's just adding to a lot of the fear, like all this stuff that we've described, like how it's going to work on each day. I'm just sitting here thinking, does anybody really think it's going to work that way? Like, is any of this going to work the way that they're advertising it? Right? And when I log in, is it actually going to recognize me as a verified fan? Like, I have no confidence that any of this is going to work.
I can say I went through the experience with Bruce Springsteen, and I did become a verified fan, and I did get 2 different codes on 2 different days for 2 different shows, and I didn't get into either of them. And Jill, who is my ticket partner for that, she got a code for one of the same 2, also tried, and did not get in. So that wasn't a fan club thing, but it was a Ticketmaster verified fan experience, and it was a very bad one, since we're not in New York right now watching Bruce Springsteen.
Right. Yeah, Stubby70 asked, why not just announce all the US dates at once? And that isn't anything to do with this tour. They often do that where they leave gaps in the tour schedule to allow for second or third shows, or adding
blame them for that.
new venues and stuff and things like that, and just having gaps in there for scheduling, I think. And also on the promotional side, it sounds good when they can say sold out show, 2 more added or whatever, rather than just having 3 shows that all kind of slowly sell out or don't, as the case may be. So, anything more on ticketing? I wanted to talk briefly about the new songs that some of us have heard, hopefully.
Just one more note on the tour. One thing that is coming up a lot, and I personally am also annoyed about it, is that there's very few weekend shows. And that could obviously change with those second or third dates that may get added to the more popular cities like Chicago and Boston, as usually does. But for now, there's very few options for those who can't take a lot of time off work to travel during the week. And the opener is in the middle of the week, which seems incredibly odd.
Yeah.
So just want to throw that out there. That's the first time in my recollection that they've done an opener in the middle of the week. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know if that's ever. I think it's probably been a while, but I wouldn't say ever.
Okay.
But what's odd is, I mean, the not so much the day of the week, but Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm okay with that because the accommodations are nice.
No disrespect. I have friends in Oklahoma. It's a beautiful state. I've been there, but they haven't played in Tulsa since 1983, and they're opening a tour there. It's very
random.
strange. Yeah, it's very strange to me.
I would. Go ahead.
I was just going to say they're playing like a secondary level arena in Atlanta. They're not playing the main one that the pro sports teams use. It's just there's a couple little oddities about the schedule.
Yeah, there is like hockey playoffs or whatever would be starting around then. Basketball stuff is around then, so there is maybe scheduling stuff, but it also. I think Mason yesterday on the fake podcast sort of called it a sea level city or whatever. So we may be burning.
I don't know
fans
that I
Tulsa,
go there, but it's actually a great city. I mean, I'm kind of excited to go back. I was there just in April. And I could whine about the fact that there's nothing within driving distance for those of us in the Northwest, but we've been so spoiled the past 3-4 tours that I don't feel like I have any right to complain about anything.
No, you don't.
Same with me.
I have the means to get to Tulsa. I can go to Vegas. I can go to California. I can go to Boston if I need to. It's fine.
Yeah, the folks, there's anyways, we'll see where they announce tour dates and stuff, obviously outside of the U.S. and Montreal, and then go from there. But Matt, you were going to say something, or?
No, I was going to say there's 3. The other strange thing is that there's 3 New York area shows, and it's each in different venues.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really, really bizarre. Like, why would you want to, let's do a show and then let's do another show 10 miles in this direction and let's do another show 10 miles in this direction? Like what are they doing? That's so weird.
Is it that hard to schedule arenas? I mean, that's the only, logistically, that's the only rhyme or reason I could think of. And they're giving a lot of love to the South, which they've sort of ignored the past few. So that makes sense, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
There's at U2Com Sherry in the chat room. Who's helping us out. The concert is the 4th show announced for Bach Center's 10 for 10 concert series in 2018, a planned celebration that will feature 10 blockbuster artists commemorating the arena's 10th anniversary. So,
Oh, that's cool.
there you go. Thanks, listener Sherry. Glad you could chime in with some feedback for the show.
Man, if she keeps up that kind of information, we might add her to the staff.
Yeah, we should have her on sometime.
Gosh, yeah. From the Bach Center's website. Who goes to the venue website? Who goes to you, Sherry?
At U2.com, Sherry does all the
Yes,
time.
she does.
So, briefly before we end, you can. I keep wanting to call it "You Can Go Your Own Way" because that's just the stupid.
It's
thing
not Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. Good song, but yeah, get out of your own way. Get that song out of my way. Thoughts on the song? Opinions on what you're hearing so far from new U2. Matt, go first.
Me? It's fine. I don't know. I think I need to hear songs in my car or on headphones. And most U2 songs I don't like them until I hear them live anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, at U2 War 40 said, I think the Get Out of Your Own Way is an early 2000s uplifting type song that many U2 fans have been wanting to hear for a while. So been compared to Beautiful Day. Sherry, Beautiful Day version 2, too similar musically. How about you, Tassoula?
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm indifferent. I like American Soul. I like the Blackout. Those are the ones that have caught my attention so far. The other ones I could take or leave, but like Matt said, I think live, I'm probably going to change my mind. So,
how
what
are
about you,
folks?
Chris?
How are folks hearing American Soul? Where is that one? Where do you get that?
I believe that's one of the.
That
Go
was
ahead, Matt.
no. Let's see again. I'm trying to remember, and wasn't
There's
that
so many different things.
if you pre-order. I think if you. I don't know. I want to say that was on.
Do a cartwheel and put a mask on, and then go grocery shopping.
If you draw and submit your drawing to the right authority, you get an American Soul.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember where it was, but it was on one of. If you pre-order on one of the versions, maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's not the deluxe digital version because that's the one I pre-ordered. So it must be maybe the U2.com fanfire. Like, did you pre-order on there?
That would maybe make sense.
Maybe like one of the LP versions or something.
Wasn't it on YouTube yesterday for like 10 minutes?
Oh,
I think it was something that like came down. Yeah, because I remember like clicking on it the instant I saw it, and then later on I couldn't find it. So maybe that's what it was.
Fabiano said he heard it. He got it in WhatsApp. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
And
Somebody trick or treated. It was in their pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, God knows.
Just showed up right in the.
It's been compared. Yeah, I've heard lots of comparisons to
Volcano's terrible.
Volcano.
Volcano's terrible.
We need an infographic
Volcano's terrible.
about where to
Why is
find
that?
all this.
I can't stop, man.
Volcano's terrible.
There. Apparently, I had that looping. We get it, Matt.
You know what else I don't like?
And yeah, American Soul is the if Volcano and the Blackout had a baby, which I think
Which
in
is
the
probably
context
why
of the
I like
album, yeah, in the context of the album, will probably make more sense. Maybe there's been a lot of talk. I know about maybe too much talk about the sort of callbacks to previous songs, previous albums, and things like that on this record so far. Like we were saying with Beautiful Day and Get Out of Your Own Way, and maybe Volcano and American Soul.
And song, the last one that they added, it's just titled 13. That is a reprise of Song for Someone, apparently. Like same chorus, the whole. So it seems to be something they're doing, and I hope as they do more promos and interviews that they will address that because there will be a vocal contingent of fans who hear these echoes of older songs in the new songs and think that they've run out of original ideas and they're just recycling old songs and making them new. But if it's intentional, they need to explain that.
And it's interesting that now the fans are hearing that and calling that out, that I don't remember reading any of the reviewers who got to hear, previews and, like Rolling Stone and the various folks who got to hear advanced copies or listening parties or whatever they were called with U2 at various stages. Nobody ever really addressed that, or it wasn't obvious enough to them maybe, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe fans are just more nerdy that way, but it does feel like once you hear someone say that it sounds a little bit like Beautiful Day, you kind of can't unhear that, and it feels rather obvious almost. And even like people have said Volcano or American Soul has like basically the We Are Rock and Roll, like almost the chorus of Volcano in it, which is why Matt loves it so much. But yeah, it does feel like an intentional, like U2 is like Edge especially
Volcano's terrible.
is, aware of those kinds of things. It's not like I don't think of Edge as being lazy, and especially taking this
No.
long to like produce the album, that they wouldn't have been
Right.
like, oh, hey, wait a second. After the 500th time I've listened to this, it actually sounds kind of like Beautiful
Play that
Day.
again.
Yeah.
As a musician, Chris, what do you think of these? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you indifferent?
I like them. I haven't like Get Out of Your Own Way just came out yesterday or whatever, and in the listening that I've done, like Matt, I like to listen to it on headphones or in car, and I haven't, for whatever reason, haven't really listened to it there yet. I've listened to it while I'm washing dishes and other stuff. My kids love the Blackout because they love the name call outs that happen in the song. So it's kind of a fun little thing. And I haven't heard American Soul. I missed that one. Didn't get it in my treat bag. And which Little Things is fun. It's good, I think. I don't know. That one, like again, that one I'm like waiting for the live version of, I think. Better than the live version we heard anyways. Like the Jimmy Kimmel live version was better than what we saw in Vancouver. So
Agreed.
Yeah. The live version
Most
of
people in
Blackout's
the
better
chat
than the
room
CD
look-
version. Yeah.
Look like they agree with us that there's an intentional reason for it, that YouTube is not just lazy, that there's a method to their madness.
Yeah, and we'll credit Scott Calhoun, our staffer, and he mentioned this in our Slack this morning, that Blake's Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience, he recycled for what the second one would have been Songs of Experience. He recycled a lot of the same themes, even the same names of poems, and so his argument was that our U2 is being kind of arty and trying to do the same thing that Blake did with Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience by recycling some of the song ideas and words and verses and that kind of stuff. So if that's what, like I said, if that's what they're doing, they should explain that. That's all I'm saying.
You're owed an explanation as a verified fan.
I'm not owed. I think it would be wise on their part to do that.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
And Lady Smeagol says, but there are at least 4 danceable songs in the album. Is this the end of times?
That's a good point.
Which is true. Yeah, it is tough as maybe a hardcore YouTube fan or somebody like a Ali. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but the problem is that with the best thing is that it sounds like 2 different songs, and
that I agree with.
And
I like the second part of it. I don't like the first. So.
Yeah, it's sometimes when they piece together different ideas and meld it into one song, which works really well with like something like One sometimes, or other songs in the past. Actung Baby is full of that kind of stuff. That sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Do you want to hear this photo that for folks that are watching? We have this photo, the promo photo of the band, 3 of them on one escalator going up, Adam on the other escalator, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a very interesting response to that? Because I joked in our Slack, like on our podcast, we need to answer why Adam gets his own escalator. So I posted on our Instagram that exact photo, and I said, look, Adam gets his own escalator, the rest of them are other, and I can't remember who it was, and I couldn't pronounce the username anyway. But the person said, that reminds me of the band's early days and their experience when Adam was the one non-Christian in the group, and the other 3 were together, and maybe this photo it reminded her of how they're now all, they're moving up, the escalator and getting to the same place. Which I don't think is, I don't think Anton Corbijn sketched that idea out and said, yeah, let's revisit those days with this promo photo. But I think it's a really cool visual.
Very astute.
Like someone pointed out, the 3, like Edge, Bono, and Larry, are going up, and Adam's actually going down. Technically, it would be probably the down escalator. So Adam's, if the other 3 are Christian, he's not. I don't want to. No, I'm just kidding.
Heaven, hell.
Yeah, it's the good place, the bad place. They're. Anyways,
I just thought that comment on our Instagram, I thought that was really interesting.
I love all the YouTube conspiracy theory stuff. As long as you don't live it.
The things that people pick out when they see photos and think about it. Just really interesting.
Or it's we'll see some sort of callback to the Actung Baby album cover that was meant to be Songs of Ascent. Maybe we'll see.
Songs of Ascent. There you go.
Anyways, all right. I think we've covered most of everything that we needed to talk about. So hopefully, I guess I was going to say some of the important dates. I don't know if these are actually. There's a whole bunch of dates floating around. November 12th is a pre-sale for U2.com fan club members, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. 14th.
You're wrong.
Oh, I am.
No.
The 12th is the last day
It's the
to
12th.
set up, is to go through all that process
Oh,
to
okay.
get your account ready for the presale. The U2.com presale starts the 14th.
Oh, okay, that's what I had.
Then the city presale. Then
On the 16th.
Then the general sales start on the 20th.
Right. Okay. So it's
And
November
then Black
16th.
Friday is the 24th. And the
Black
album
Friday's-
comes out on December 1st.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
And the
album-
tour starts on May 2nd.
Right.
Christmas is
Just
December
make your little
25th.
calendar. Christmas is December 25th.
And
The day we file for bankruptcy is January 1st.
yeah, really.
Right.
All
Sherry's correcting me in the chat room. Okay. On that note, thank you for watching on. Hopefully, it worked well on all the platforms that it was on: Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you happen to be. I didn't see anybody chatting from YouTube, so maybe that one borked itself.
Not so much.
But otherwise, thanks for all the folks who tuned in, even though we were delayed and stuff. And obviously, the listeners of the podcast. That's the benefit of listening to the audio version, is you're blissfully unaware of any of this crap happening. So maybe that's the way to go in the future. But we thank you for tuning in live. We thank you for listening live and later. You can find this episode at goodstuff.fm/ATU2/70. The Periscope stream was on my account, iChris on Periscope. There's a Good Stuff YouTube channel. There's a Twitch, Good Stuff YouTube on Twitch, or Good Stuff YouTube, Good Stuff on Twitch. Oh man,
If we keep doing it this way, we'll have to coordinate it so that people can find us in advance and they know where to go and all that sort of stuff.
If you sign up at one of those three places, you'll get notified. Like Tassoula said, if you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube,
It'll send you
Facebook,
an email.
Yeah, or on Periscope, you'll get a little
Right.
ding. saying-
And basically, we just need everybody to connect their Ticketmaster credit cards to our podcast, and it'll be fine.
Exactly. You should see on there's a site that I'm using called Restream that all the live streaming services you can possibly use. There's like 30, 40 of them out there. I'll just be using those ones. And for whatever reason, Facebook is its own little animal, of course, and doesn't make it easy to do. So at some point, we'll try and get that one going too. But hopefully you could play along at home and have fun with us. And we'll see you next time on the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye. There we go. That's what's-
Wow.
Burp. That ended quickly. What was that?
Now I can hear you, but I
hour and a
can't
half
see it.
later. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just did a little fancy fade out of the
Okay.
full screen. Burp.
Are we
Nice
still
experience in
live?
Periscope. Fabiano's on Periscope and the Twitch chat. Thanks for. Yeah, it's still live right now. Go to the Zootopia's board and the Man official site if you have any questions. Yeah. We are not the official responder to U2's ticketing issues. We're just trying to do our part. Don't.
That's
Yeah, we get a lot of questions, like really specific, difficult questions.
I had like yesterday was a really busy and I couldn't it was about 10 or 11 o'clock last night is when I finally got down and read all the articles, read the help page, checked on, what does it compare to what's on Ticketmaster. And it just was so confusing. And I had gotten, I get personal emails that people that email me through mattmcgee.com, hey, I can't figure out how to, but I have these questions about the and I'm like, I had to email back. I say, look, I wish I could help, but I don't understand it either. And I would hate to give information out and have it be wrong.
Yeah.
And so I just said, look, just go to u2.com, read the help page, use the forums there. You'll get at least semi-official information. I'm scared to death of giving people wrong information.
I kept retweeting the Zoo TV mods too, because they were pointing out some great things and they are definitely an official source. So that's the best I could do. But when I logged into the @U2 Twitter account just to put this out and put the originals up, there was like 50 new questions. I'm like, I can't. So I didn't. For the reasons that you indicated.
People are saying in the comments, you guys are still. We know we're still live. This is like the bonus post game show.
Yeah.
Post game show, which I think there isn't really right now, up until whatever the date was, the 15th or 16th, there's no panic. Like, you get verified today, you get verified in 4 days. You're not missing a thing, right? Other than, I guess,
until the 12th.
Pre-ordering. Yeah.
Right, until
the
the 12th.
The 12th, you're in trouble if you haven't done something.
Yeah.
And no, we don't have your updates. Please stop asking. There's I've gotten 4 emails literally about England and Ireland, and we honestly don't know. So.
But the what was it? The news article they posted on YouTube.com said something about if you want to pre-order the album in these countries, click here. I mean, that kind of gives away where they're going to play because they're tying the pre-order to the pre-sales and all that sort of stuff. So
it's safe to say there's definitely going to be a European tour, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We don't know when that is. We're not holding back information. We just don't have it.
Other than the Australian, New Zealand dates, we know those. We're just not choosing to tell you.
Oh, you're a meanie.
People will think you're not kidding.
Yeah. Send me hate mail at.
And one thing we didn't get to on the actual show was the fact that this is happening so fast. Like Vid was saying earlier, she's literally still in transit from the last tour, and now she's got alerts on her phone about buying tickets for the next one.
Right.
And it's we've bitched for years about how far apart the tours are. Now that they're crunching them together, is it too much? Is it too soon?
Yeah. Is this like the contract thing? I know if Sherry was here, she could tell us for sure, but where this is some sort of get them finished in a contract because they have to have a tour, X number of tours in their contract and albums or whatever, and get this all done ASAP so that they're still young enough to put out another album on their own. Or
well, I don't know if that's the language and the terms and conditions from Live Nation, but maybe it should be. But no, I thought 2020, for some reason I have 2020 in my head as an end date. So
2020 is what it was when they signed in 2008. It was a 12-year deal, but when Paul McGuinness sold principal management to Maverick and Guy Oseary took over, they signed a new deal with Maverick and Live Nation at that time.
Okay.
So now we have no idea when it ends.
Now it's 2045 for all we know.
Could be, yeah. Who knows? I mean,
it could be 2018. Who knows?
It could be, or it could be 2020 still. So yeah, I mean, it could be anything. But that big 12-year deal from 2008, that was, from what I have read, that was replaced when the management switch happened.
That makes sense. They have to control what they want to control, and there had to be a sweetening to the deal for them to take it over, so it makes sense. Jerry or Bono could fall off another bike and it's all over. Let's not be negative now.
That's not. I wouldn't joke about that kind of thing.
I wouldn't either.
I assume they very quickly had lawyers amending all the contracts saying you're not allowed to ride a bike or this contract is null and void.
I'm sure that he is as much in a bubble as they can possibly make him be. And we should have some promo stuff coming. I mean, now that we know that the tour dates and everything, we should have some more. There should be late night appearances and morning appearances and things, and at least in America and Canada, I would think that are going to happen. So, other things to look forward to if you care.
Like the promo stuff.
If you like the promo stuff.
And we never really talked about the fact that everybody who buys a ticket gets an album in North America, right?
Yeah. So if you buy 3 tickets, you get 3 albums.
Which Arcade Fire did, right? And other bands have done similar
The Killers
things.
did that. There's been a lot of artists that have done that. You know, Prince started it.
So does that, what I was asking Mason yesterday, and he's 12, so he doesn't know yet, but does that like juice their sales numbers then? Just like of album sales? Like, or how does that?
There's a debate about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Aaron Govern was saying that kind of stuff doesn't impact the UK charts at all because of the rules are set up. And if you remember when Songs of Innocence was given out for free, they weren't allowed to count all those free copies of the album as part of the chart sales.
Which
Songs
doesn't make sense to me because Apple did buy it for us. Just because we didn't buy it didn't mean they weren't purchased.
Well, but they weren't purchased.
Well, they got paid. Bono made a big point of
they got paid. They got paid, but the album wasn't. But that's like, I mean, if that's, then you could say that they could, print 200 million CDs and put them in a warehouse in Los Angeles and open the doors to the public and say, hey, we just sold 2 million CDs or whatever it is.
That's what Brian Epstein did to get the Beatles on the map. I mean, that's honestly, that has happened in music history. That's how the Beatles started.
But that doesn't count towards album sales. So
okay.
So I don't know if you give it away when you buy a concert ticket. I have no idea how that works.
There's an argument in our internal discussion about that, because there's people that feel very strongly that it does and people that disagree. So who knows? I guess we'll find out after December 1st. Right?
Mike PD63 says these aren't free as part of ticket prices, so they count as sales. Is what he's saying. Like you're buying the album and the ticket, so you're paying for it. Yeah. Sort of.
It's a package.
Yeah.
But you're not. No, you're not. They're not charging you X for the ticket and X plus Y if you want with the album. They're charging you X for the ticket and they're giving you the album for free.
Right.
Aren't general admission tickets a little more expensive this time?
We don't know. There's just a price range, 41 to 325.
Yeah, hiding in the
But didn't they start at 30 something last time? I swear they started like $10 cheaper last time, which would be about right for an album price edition. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I know somebody who might know. I will see what I can find out, and we will make that the topic of the next podcast.
Album sales.
And the qualification. I mean, there's a number of reasons why they do things in fourth quarter to qualify for certain awards, and there's Grammy consideration. There's all kinds of things. There's always a reason why they're doing what they're doing when they're doing it. It's not just all money, which a lot of haters like to bring up. I mean,
or the other extreme of like Bono's version of like the artistic side of it, that he does a great job of explaining or talking up, but often like they'll straddle 2 Grammy seasons so they can get a single in one and an album in the other or whatever, those kinds of things. Because often you're like, wait, this album's for the Grammys already? It's like, wasn't it already around for the last one? And how does that work? And
and it's worked for them in the past. They still hold the record of being the band with the most Grammys at 22. So they're smart to do what they do for whatever reason they do it.
Hi, I Steph you two from France. Bonjour. That's my butchered Canadian French. Katy Perry is one of the last artists to do this. Yeah. Pink did it, like I was mentioning. Hiding in the Berg said. Yeah. So not uncommon these days. All right.
I got to roll.
And we'll do this again, hopefully, sometime. Watch the...
Maybe we should log on like an hour before we're supposed to go live to work out the kinks.
Well, that's what I did in the morning. I logged on and it all worked. I really think this was like a Mimo, the streaming software I used, just like a random hiccup at that. Because, it worked fine this morning. It worked fine yesterday when I did it with Mason. Test of stuff, and so
once Sherry got out, we didn't have any hiccups.
Oh snap.
Not that has anything to do with
we'll have Sherry fax in her comments. That's what I think we'll do next time. All right, thanks everybody for listening, watching, wherever you are in the world. It was awesome to have you along, and we'll see you again next time.
Thanks Chris, thanks Tassoula, thanks Sherry.
Thank you.